What is going on, guys? My name is Josh, and welcome back to another video over here on the Shuffle Squad channel. As you can see, I'm not in my normal setup. I'm actually in Kansas on a specific job. So I apologize for any quality issues that you see with my camera going forward. But I am here to bring you a brand new deck profile today. This past weekend, we had our second round of regionals in the Silver Tempest format, and I am going to be playing the Frosmoth Inteleon box that won the Brisbane Regional Champion over in Australia. This deck is so cool. I'm so excited to get into a few games with it. But before we do, I do just want to go ahead and thank a couple of the TSS sponsors. First off, if you use code TSS12 over at Atlas TCG, you can save 12% off on all of your orders over there. TCGO store, similarly, TSS5, you get 5% off all of your TCG codes needed. We do have a new sponsor with us, Your Playmat. If you use code TSS5YP, you can save 5% on custom playmats. You could get the TSS logo, anything that you want. PokeX Word, they have a ton of super fun Pokemon puzzles, crossword puzzles for you to try every single day. It's a ton of fun. You should absolutely check them out. And lastly, but not least, certainly not least, our Shuffle Squad team Patreon, which does go directly to supporting all of the players on the Shuffle Squad. It has all sorts of articles and deck lists from myself, as well as a ton of other Shuffle Squad members. So be sure to go and check that out. But let's just hop right into the video. So taking a look at the list here, as you can see, there is a lot going on. I think that in the Sword and Shield era, we've kind of gotten accustomed to this idea of big hitters, simple lists with maybe some interesting text in there. But you look at this deck and it's reminiscent of the Urshifu lists that were playing tons of one-of cards in order to do a ton of work into a specific meta. And obviously it worked out, as this list did win the Brisbane Regionals here. We are playing one copy of the Drapion V, obviously just a very solid counter into Mew. It's going to let you take 3 prizes very easily off of Mew at any given time in the game, so long as you don't start it, so long as you don't prize it and not have access to that Hisuian Heavy Ball. Very strong card for the predicted meta. We are playing a 1/1 line of the Alolan Vulpix VSTAR. I think this is a card that got really overlooked with the release of Silver Tempest, but I am so excited to see it winning a regional. 240 HP, Snow Mirage. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Pokemon that have an ability. Just an absolutely insane effect of an attack. So many of the best cards in the format have abilities, and Alolan Vulpix says, "You cannot touch me." And then for no energy, Silvery Snow Star. This attack does 70 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon V in play, which is going to let you blow up a Mew VMAX at some point in a game. You will see me not realizing that I have the ability to use this against Mew in a game later, but it ends up okay. The Silvery Snowstar V-Star power is very strong. A huge force against that Mew deck, against Lugia decks that bench too many Vs, against any deck really that puts a ton of V Pokemon into play. You are going to want to use that Silvery Snow Star attack. Then we are playing 2 Articuno, the star really of this past weekend. This Articuno, Wild Freeze for 2 water energy does 70 damage, 50 to yourself. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. This paired with the Emergency Jelly is just such a strong option into the Lugia decks. Next up, we have Eiscue. Tried and true, this card comes back to the meta every once in a while when too many big basics are doing their thing. It helps you beat those Blissey decks, helps you beat those Reggie decks. Truly a very strong card in the current format when people aren't teching for it specifically. 1 Manaphy, obviously the wave availability is going to be very important when you're playing an Inteleon or Frosmoth based deck, stopping your opponent from being able to take knockouts on your benched support Pokemon. Then we have Radiant Greninja, obviously needs no introduction. Concealed cards lets you discard a water energy or any energy Draw 2 cards. 2/2 line of Frosmoth, the Ice Dance ability, Rain Dance, whatever you want to say, however it's been printed multiple times throughout the years. As often as you like during your turn, you may attach a water energy card from your hand to one of your benched water Pokemon. It is important to note. Benched water Pokemon, not any water Pokemon. Then we are playing a 4-3-2-1 line of Inteleon, playing 2 copies of that Shady Dealings Inteleon and 1 copy of the Quick Shooting Inteleon. Next up, we do have the Battle VIP Pass, just 1 copy. Really, it's only there for if you go second, you have the Irida in your hand. You can just set up with that Battle VIP Pass quite easily. 2 copies of Capacious Bucket. No one's surprised to see this card anymore. It has been so strong for so many formats. It's quite good for these water-based decks. 2 copies of Evolution Incense, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 4 Level Ball, 2 Quick Ball, the beautiful reverse rare candy from Pokemon Go, letting you cheat out Inteleons early in the game. Very, very strong. 3 Scoop Up Net, 1 Training Court as our only stadium, 3 Boss's Orders, 4 Irida, 1 Marnie, 2 Nessa. If you don't know what Nessa does, put up to 4 in any combination of water Pokemon and water energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. Very good for decks like Reggie's. If they are playing an answer to Eiscue, they are playing Rope Boss, you can just Nessa, and if you have Frosmoth in play, put everything right back down like they never had a chance. And then we are playing 1 copy of Raihan, very useful for cheating out those Articunos if you don't have the Frosmoth in play. 1 copy of Air Balloon, 2 copies of the Emergency Jelly dual card. I cannot believe that this is a playable card. At the end of each turn, if the Pokemon this card is attached to has 30 HP or less remaining and has any damage counters on it, heal 120 damage from it. If you heal damage in this way, discard this card. It just makes it so that your Articunos can keep on attacking despite the 50 damage it does to itself. Next up, we are playing 1 copy of Wash Energy. Basically prevents Sableye. It prevents Amazing Rare, Yveltal. All effects of attack won't work on a water Pokemon with the Wash Energy attached. And then just 6 basic water energy. So yeah, it's a complicated list. There's a lot going on, and you'll see that these were my first couple of games with the deck, and I didn't quite have exactly the handle on it that maybe, the winner of the Brisbane Regionals had, but it's quite fun, and I think that it may actually maintain its place in the meta moving forward. So yeah, let's just start off on some games. Fantastic. So starting off here, we are going to lose the coin flip. So our opponent is going to choose to go first. We do start with that Radiant Greninja. Not too bad. Going to let us see some extra cards. Should be quite helpful. Let's see. Our opponent flips over a Regidrago. Looks like we are against that Regibox deck. It's not quite the matchup that we want to see. It can be quite difficult for us to exchange prizes, and they do play a lot of switch cards. Let me think about this. How do we win? Oh, Eiscue? I would imagine Eiscue is the way we win, assuming they're not playing Escape Rope. So I guess the goal here is attempt to get Eiscue down as fast as possible. I'm assuming they don't play any Boss's Orders, so let's go ahead and get rid of this Raihan. I don't think it's super necessary. Let's see. Eiscue with that block face attack. Just need to find enough energy. Go ahead and Marnie. They didn't do too much their first turn, but they did discard a Marnie, so I think we can afford to go ahead and shuffle. Well, not shuffle, but get some stuff onto the bottom of the deck. This is a much better looking hand, so we'll go ahead and bench the Sobble and just pass. Once we get the attack off with the Eiscue, assuming they don't play any outs to it, we should just win. There's no good way to know. Okay. Well, Amazing Rare Yveltal would have been an answer, I believe. All effects of attacks. Okay, no, it's not, because I already have this. That's great. Okay, so let's go ahead and Irida. I'm going to grab a Snom. and a Level Ball. Not too pressed about getting anything else. We do have access to Drizzile here. Don't think there's anything worth Drizziling here for yet. We'd rather save it for next turn. Although, if I Drizzile here, I can Inteleon next turn, which should guarantee me the attack with Eiscue. So let's go ahead. We will evolve to Drizzile. I will grab an Evolution Incense, and we'll just hold that in our hand. Evolution Incense can get us Scoop Up Net and Capacious Bucket to attack with the Eiscue next turn. And this way, we're not removing Inteleon outs from our deck, assuming our opponent tries to Marnie. They do just go for the research, discarding lots of energy. Let's see. What are they working with here? They do just need that Reggie Ice. They should be trying to take out as many basic Pokemon as possible before we get that Eiscue attacking. They do have the Regieleki, so it's going to be important for us to get Manaphy down at some point. But it looks like he's taking the knockout here, so I can just probably get Manaphy this turn. I'm going to go ahead and promote the Eiscue. Use Evolution Incense. Grab an Inteleon. We will play the Inteleon. Going to get the Capacious Bucket and a Scoop Up Net, allowing us to reset our Inteleon, potentially use it next turn should we want to. Let's go ahead and attach that lightning energy, water energy to our active Eiscue. Play Drizzile here. Probably grab Irida as a way to get the Manaphy, assuming that it's in deck, which it is. So we will play the Irida, grab the Manaphy. Nope, not Rare Candy. Grab a Level Ball as well. Could be useful next turn. And then we will use Block Face. 70 damage. Our Eiscue cannot be damaged by attacks from our opponent's basic Pokemon on the following turn. And then with our wonderful Wash Energy, we are preventing effects from attacks as well. So the likes of Yveltal Amazing Rare are not going to break through, which is just fantastic for us on the whole. I am assuming, given the fact that our opponent's not scooping, that they are playing maybe an out to the Eiscue, or that they're hoping that they can stall us long enough to win the game. But an out to Eiscue would be successive escape rope into boss's orders, and even that doesn't necessarily win them the game, because then I can Nessa and use the Frosmoth to set up another Eiscue. Thornton, yep, there is that amazing rare Yveltal. I don't think that they're aware of the fact that this isn't going to work. The Wash Energy, nope, they just retreat. Okay. And they're going to use Electromagnetic Sonar. Interesting. Okay, so how do I want to play this here? I don't dislike the idea of having Frosmoth set up. And it looks like our opponent does just scoop. I think they saw the writing on the wall. If you're not playing any outs to that Eiscue, it can be an absolute monster into the Reggie deck. They're not able to attack. And especially if you get that Wash Energy on to the Eiscue, they don't even have the option of going for that amazing rare Yveltal. So we get our first win with the deck. Looking pretty solid so far. Don't have to do too much to set up win conditions into a lot of these decks. So let's see if we can take another win on the ladder. Great, so starting another game here, we are going to win that coin flip, meaning we'll get to go first. We do start with the Sobble in hand. We have Irida, we have Eiscue, should we need it for the matchup, and our opponent is taking a mulligan. Looks like we are against the Mew VMAX deck, one of the absolute powerhouses of the format. So let's see if we can find a way to navigate a win here. We do draw into that Articuno, draw into the emergency jelly. It's not ideal necessarily to level ball here for another Sobble, but I think it is necessary. It looks like our Drapion is prized. It could be fine. That could be all right, just depending on whether or not we're able to easily find that Hisuian Heavy Ball. I'm just going to pass. It's likely that one of these Sobbles is going to go down, but it's not guaranteed. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Our opponent is going to start off with a Quick Ball. They do get rid of a Switch Cart, grabbing a Genesect. Standard stuff. Nothing that we're too surprised to see. An Ultra Ball comes down here as well, getting rid of a Cross Switcher and a Lost Vacuum. Gets another Genesect down. Okay, they are just using Genesect for one, so maybe our Sobbles will be safe for a turn. We'll see. Looks like our opponent does Quick Ball away and Ultra Ball, getting an extra Genesect down. There's that Fusion Strike system, drawing an extra few cards. Let's see. They do have one Genesect left, but they will need cards to put down. There's a Cramomatic. They do get the heads. It's not great for us. Maybe an Elisa Sparkle. It is a Battle VIP pass. Okay. It's looking like it might be the double turbo version of the deck, which I would imagine is probably a better matchup for us than the Meloetta version is. Depending on how successfully we can use our Drapion. We'll see, though. Our opponent getting rid of a cross switcher is good. That's one less access to a switching card. So we could, in theory, Articuno a Mew to take some prizes. I'm assuming I'm not going to be attacking this turn. Really, I don't have much going on. There is another cross switcher going away. Silene, they get double heads, so there's their two cross switchers. That makes things a little less fun for us. We do now know that they have double cross switcher in hand, although there's nothing really that we're going to put down. Maybe a Snom. We will see, though. If they are going to cross switcher the Snom, though, be an interesting choice. Okay, let's go ahead and grab the Capacious Bucket. We'll grab Radiant Greninja, see if I can get just a stronger board established. At this point, I'm probably going to be using Keep Calling this turn. I'm not incredibly sold on the idea of going for the Rare Candy play for the Sword and Shield Inteleon. Don't think it's necessary here. That's something. I am just going to go ahead and attach the Water Energy, probably bench the Articuno here, and then just use Keep Calling, put a couple more Sobbles down. The ideal situation for us here is that they will evolve into a Mew VMAX. We will be able to string together a knockout with the Mew VMAX on one of the Mew VMAX and then clean up the game with our Drapion V. Okay, they do put down that Pokestop after cross switching up our Articuno. We don't care too much about the Articuno going up, honestly. I don't think it matters too much. They are looking for a Mew VMAX, certainly a double turbo energy, most likely. They do Palpad, probably putting that Silene back in. Yeah, it's the only supporter in there. So what they have to put in, they are going to Ultra Ball here, getting rid of an Echoing Horn. Okay. There's that Mew VMAX. just looking for an energy card now. Fusion Strike System will draw them 4 cards. Let's see. How do I want to play this? I do have the option to just like find a way to attack with Articuno here, force them through their switches. I could also just take a knockout with Drapion here. It doesn't look like they're playing Lost City. Chromatic Tails comes down. But that just means they can draw more cards. They're through the vast majority of their deck already. And this is only turn 2 for them. They do draw 2 more cards. I'm certain that they have many a switch card left. They have 2 cross switchers. There's the Max Miracle. I think it may be worth it to go for the Drapion play here. Do have the Raihan, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem too necessary. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use our rare candy. I'm not going to evolve the one with the energy. I think that's incorrect for the time being. You'll get the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Let's grab a Level Ball as well. Play the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Get that Drapion out of the prizes. Put the Drapion into play. Air Balloon, the Radiant Greninja. I can go ahead and grab a couple more energy with the Capacious Bucket. Do I want a Raihan here? I don't think so. Are there any other supporter cards that I'm interested in playing? Boss, Irida, Marnie. Marnie could be okay. It just doesn't feel necessary. I think we do just go ahead and take the knockout here. We'll get Drizzile. There's certainly no reason not to get Drizzile here. So we will. We'll Drizzile. Maybe we'll get another Level Ball. Get a second Drizzile down as well. And then I can grab a Scoop Up Net and hold that for next turn. Yep, Scoop Up Net. There's that. And then we will go ahead and retreat into the Drizzile. I'm going to go ahead and attach a Water Energy to a different Drizzile, I think. I think that's the most appropriate way to play this. And then we will Dynamic Tail. We'll probably just put it on the Inteleon because we're intending to pick it up next turn. We do get those 3 prizes here. There's the Heavy Ball, the Alolan Vulpix V, and a Scoop Up Net right out of the prizes. Our opponent is likely to be able to take the knockout here on our Drapion, but we don't care too much. The ideal situation is that we'll be able to attack with Articuno this coming turn. Unfortunately, yeah, there is the Lost City. It's not like we're playing anything really to get the Drapion back. At least not that we have access to at the moment. They are still going to be looking for a double Turbo Energy. There is the double Tails to counteract the double Heads that they had earlier, but they have plenty of draw left in their deck. I wonder if the most effective way to do this is to just Boss's Orders a Genesect a couple times. They are down to only 1 double Turbo. I think that might be the best option. Try and Boss's Orders a Genesect a couple times. I can stop them from retreating as well. So we will promote the Inteleon here. I am also going to do hit the... Okay, let's think about this really, really hard. Because I can Boss's Orders here. I can swing for 120. I can ping for 120. I think it makes the most sense. Yeah, we have double Frosmoth in the prizes. Good thing we didn't go for it this game. Yeah, I think my strongest play here is to go ahead and Scoop Up Net. I am going to Inteleon here. Using Nessa is ineffective. We'll grab Boss. We'll grab the Quick Ball. Quick Ball away our Eiscue. It's not helpful at this point. It's pretty much guaranteed to not be doing anything. So let's go ahead. We will attach the water energy here. I am going to Boss's orders. Let's think about this. So I can do 120. I can ping. So if I go 140, 160. But then I need to Boss's orders again. I think this is correct. We are going to quick shooting here. And then Aqua Bullet. And we'll put 20 on a bench Genesect. And then we can attempt to win the game by going for a double KO on these. Or just by stalling with Boss's orders, which is also a reasonable thing to do. We do get Rock Sand. It's fine. Not too huge of a deal. Yeah, not a big deal at all. Okay, there's the double turbo. It's not exactly what we want to see. Could be fine, though. They're not actually going for the KO here. And they do just scoop. I don't think they realized that they weren't going to be taking the knockout. But even if they did take the knockout there, they were going to have to expunge both of their last two switch, assuming, right, that they had two switch left. They would have had to switch between the two because they were out of double turbo energy. They did attach their last double turbo energy to that Genesect to retreat. So even if they took the knockout there, I could have used that level ball, gotten Drizzile, and used Raihan to paralyze that Mew. And unless they had access to the rest of their switch for the next two turns, we were going to be able to take the game there. So as you can see, this deck looks very cheeky, but does have the ability to put in a ton of work against some of these top tier threats. So as you can see, this deck is definitely going to be an absolute force in this Silver Tempest metagame going forward. I think it's really, really strong. You can see even me playing that Mew matchup suboptimally as I realized it for what you will see before the games, but I realized post when I was looking through the deck list, it's even easier to beat that Mew matchup. You take one knockout with the Drapion, and on the turn that you play the Drapion to take the knockout on Mew VMAX, you just bench that Alolan Vulpix V, and then basically your Mew matchup is checkmated because your opponent has to knock out the Drapion in order to not lose, but if they knock out the Drapion, then they're not knocking out your Alolan Vulpix V, evolve it into the V-Star, and then you just win the game functionally from there. So yeah, this deck I think has a lot of legs moving forward. I'm very excited to see how it continues. But I want to thank all of you for coming out today, and I will see you all on the next one.
The Shuffle Squad is proudly sponsored by Atlas Collectibles, the best place to buy any trading card game product online. Visit atlastcg.com and at the checkout screen, make sure to use code TSS12 to save an unbeatable 12% off your entire order. Atlas Collectibles will ship your product anywhere in the world, so make sure you're taking advantage of the 12% savings with TSS12. And if Pokemon is not your thing, don't worry. Go to atlastcg.com and see all the other amazing trading card game products they have there to offer.
The Shuffle Squad is partnered with PTCGO Store to provide our community with the best access to Pokemon TCG codes. They have codes available 24/7 instant email delivery, and you can save 5% off by using code TSS5. If you're a YouTube member or Patreon supporter, you'll have access to a special code that gets you 10% off. So what are you waiting for? Use code TSS5 today and save 5% on your next order of codes on any codes available at PTCGOstore.com.
PokeXWord, the best place to get your fill of Pokemon-inspired puzzles. New puzzles are posted every day, and they recently launched a new Guess That Pokemon puzzle, which is a ton of fun to play. Go check them out at PokeXWord.com and be sure to follow them on Twitter for your chance to win a ton of PTCGO codes every month.
Check out the Late Night Series Season 6, brought to you by myself, Zach Lesage, and the Shuffle Squad. We're going to be running a bunch of sick events for the Pokemon community, and they start on August 30th. So one thing you might be noticing here is that there's an EU time and an NA time. We have one at 12 p.m. Eastern, which works out to about 5 p.m. in London. And then we have one at 7 p.m. Eastern, which should help out a lot of players on the West Coast play in this event. That being said, we still have a lot of cool things going on. Expect similar prizing that we've had for other Late Night Series events. Expect better staffing, expect better tournament experiences, and of course we do have a stream going up for this season as well, and I will be streaming the event on Twitch. That being said, we have the whole season up on the Play Limitless website. Late Night 51 all the way through 70 runs until we hit the Invitational on November 5th. So check that out, sign up today, and support Zach Lesage Events and the Shuffle Squad. See you there.